The teaching of Buddha that life is permeated with suffering caused by desire, that suffering ceases when desire ceases, and that enlightenment obtained through right conduct, wisdom, and meditation releases one from desire, suffering, and rebirth. Now let's delve in to those values of Buddhism.
Buddhism first appeared in India under a Bodhi tree when Siddhartha Gautama received enlightenment and became Buddha. He wandered India for 45 years, teaching the path he had realized at that moment under the tree. When Siddhartha Gautama was 29, he realized that wealth and luxury did not guarantee happiness, so he went in search for the key to happiness. 6 years later, he became enlightened or found the middle path. He spent the rest of his life teaching the principles of Buddhism. He developed a community of monks and nuns devoted to practicing Buddhism.
The best way to practice Buddhism is through worship. The definition of worship is to honor and show reverence to a divine being or supernatural power. Many Buddhists worship both at home and at temple. At home, many Buddhists set aside some part of their house as a shrine. The shrine will consist of statues of Buddha and candles. There are many different ways to worship at temple. At temple, many worshippers sit on the floor barefoot, facing an image, usually a statue of Buddha. The process of worshiping consists of chanting, instrument playing, and praying. Worshipping also consists of listening to monks chanting from religious texts. Buddhism is neither monotheistic nor polytheistic. Buddhism does not depend on the existence of any god or gods. Instead, Buddhism focuses on the ways of life that lead to a state of enlightenment. Buddhists have numerous deities. Contrary to popular belief, these deities are not gods, but rather different aspects of one god. While Buddhists admire these numerous deities, they do not treat them like gods in any way. They only respect them very highly. The deities in Buddhism are mortal and are not gods. They are not omniscient, all-knowing. They are models of a higher being of which Buddhists are meant to think highly of. They live a life of happiness that is known to any human. Buddhists do not worship their deities. They only show immense amounts of respect towards them by meditation. In most cases, they perform yoga rituals to show reverence and respect. Now that we have gone over the rituals of worship, we will now take a look at the core values of Buddhism. The Four Noble Truths are the basis of Buddhist teaching. These four truths are the following. Life is suffering. Suffering is due to attachment. Attachment can overcome. And there is a path for accomplishing this. In order to understand these truths and achieve these goals, Buddhists follow the Eightfold Path. It contains some creedal statements that outline the basic principles of Buddhism. The Eightfold Path is as follows. Right view is the true understanding of the Four Noble Truths.
Right aspiration is the true desire to free oneself from attachment, ignorance, and hatefulness.
Right speech involves abstaining from lying, gossiping, or hurtful talk.
Right action involves abstaining from hurtful behaviors such as killing, stealing, and careless sex.
Right livelihood means making your living in such a way as to avoid dishonesty and hurting others, including animals.
Right effort is a matter of exerting oneself in regards to the content of one's mind. Bad qualities should be abandoned and prevented from arising again. Good qualities should be enacted and nurtured.
Right mindfulness is the focusing of one's attention on one's body, feelings, thoughts, and consciousness in such a way as to overcome craving, hatred, and ignorance.
Right concentration is meditating in such a way as to progressively realize a true understanding of imperfection, impermanence, and non-separatedness.
Anyone can become a Buddhist by following the path of Buddha. Unlike Catholicism and other Christian denominations, Buddhism does not require its members to undergo certain sacraments, such as baptism, in order to enter into their faith. In order to be ordained as a Buddhist monk, one must first be a novice monk, who are generally children, and then they can become a full member of Sangha, which is the order of the monks, by taking vows to abandon activities that Buddha abandoned. Buddhism is mainly practiced in the continent of Asia. China has the greatest population of Buddhists. Buddhism has spread to almost every country worldwide and is predicted to continue to grow. It is becoming more and more popular in the United States, Australia, and the United Kingdom. Some popular Buddhist celebrations are Buddha Day, Fourfold Assembly Day, the Plowing Festival, and the Buddhist New Year. Buddha Day is the most universally celebrated Buddhist holiday and commemorates the birth, enlightenment, and death of their leader, Buddha. The Buddhist holy days include moon days, which are the equivalent of the Christian Sabbath, and Observance Day.
Although Buddhism began about 2,500 years ago, the teachings are still strong today. There is a growing number of students and Buddhists around the world. This is not a tradition of the past, but a growing part of life in the modern world. As a way of life, Buddhism aims to teach people how to grow in maturity and wisdom so that they may understand themselves better and learn more about the world in which they live.
Many Buddhist studies teach about everyday life and how to cope with the events and situations common to all people. Buddhism may not be taught exactly the same way it was taught centuries ago because times have changed, so they need it to adapt to modern circumstances. However, it has remained true to the basic and ancient teachings. From this basic level, Buddhism aims to help its students develop attitudes towards life that will improve their relationships with family, friends, and the people in our daily lives.
Buddhists draw on the story of the Buddha, who showed through his own experience that there is a way to end all suffering and attain supreme happiness. The Buddhist teachings, because of this great secret, offer Buddhists hope and the opportunity for a content and meaningful life.
We hope that through this enlightenment, you now have a better understanding of the rich religious and cultural traditions that are a unique part of Buddhism, a religion rooted in ancient customs.